Hey everyone, welcome to Bugsmashers. I'm your host, Mark Abent, and I'm a gameplay programmer here at CIG LA, and I take you behind the scenes of some of the most ridiculous bugs we have. Hope you guys enjoy. Let's start the show. Bugsmashers! Alright, we are here in the fun main menu, and we got a fun bug where when the player first spawns into a single player match, like free flight or or survival mode or whatever you wanted to play in single player, and if you don't touch any of the buttons, the player will start floating above the ship and then just keep going and going and going forever. I did not believe this was true because it sounds ridiculous until I tried it, and I swear I was laughing for a good 10 minutes. It's so ridiculous and so awesome. So I just started the match. Let's let the loading screen go, and now we're there, and everything might look normal, but we're actually ascending into Oblivion. If I actually do free cam, you'll notice that the player is not in his seat, because he is floating somewhere in Oblivion. I don't know where he is. He's up there somewhere. If I do free cam disabled 1, he's floating far away. You can kind of see the terraformer moving. It's so weird. What's happening? Well, this took me down a long rabbit hole. So to start off, we have a ship and we have a seat. And then we also have, we have the player. We stick the player onto the ship by an attachment using the good old attachment system. And in theory, when the ship moves and animates, the player will get snapped to the position. Unfortunately, or fortunately, our attachment system is a little bit too optimal in a good way, where if our ship isn't animating or isn't moving, it doesn't necessarily need to move any of our attachments. So that means if our ship is staying perfectly still, we're not shooting, we're not flying, we're not doing anything, in theory, we do not need to move the player to this position or any of its guns or items, because its position is always going to be the same. And that's what this beautiful bits of code do here. So that's why our player is actually not teleporting to the seat. The reason why he's not moving is because the good old physics code decided when we transition from one zone to another zone, or the world to inside of the ship, we need to maintain his velocity relative to the zone. And that includes a bunch of things such as you move in, your rotation, and all that fun jazz. And during that specific calculation, it decides to give the player a slight position due to good old floating point resolves. So he's moving really tiny, and it just accumulates really quite a bit. So to get around that fun stuff, in the attachment, the player animated character, this handles the player's actual skeleton and stuff like that. We have specific areas where when he animates, it updates relative to the attachment and all that fun stuff. So what we want to do is when he's in this specific state, we want to just clear the velocity, just in case he happens to get some. So what we're going to do here is we're going to use, what is it? I closed all my fun stuff. There we go. So we have this thing called PE status living, which we ask the physics system, because the player is, we call him a living entity. It's his physics type. You have rigid, you have static. Well, the player is living because he has ragdolls and all that fun. We have this structure called PE status living, which will fill out a bunch of interesting information. The particular information we want from physics is this velocity, which is what when you press a button to move, or if you're moving through that zone, as I was saying, this is the velocity the player has so he can move through the world. And if this is not 0, What we want to do is now tell physics to clear all of his velocity and rotation, because when he's in this seat and is stuck to an attachment, he shouldn't have any velocity. And just so happens switching from zones does give him a little bit. So we're going to disable velocity if he ever has any. So let's hit the magic recode button. Actually, we don't have to recode for this one, we'll just build. Because it's pretty simple to replicate this one since we have to go to the main menu and then to single player. So we'll let that build and then we'll start up the game and see what happens. And I'm sorry, I don't have bacon today, so it's just gonna me drink coffee while it gets done. All right, we're back to the main menu. Just go to Arena Commander, wait for more loading, and then go to single player, go to our free flight, and then go to some more loading. I love these line rides, they're the best. Now if I don't touch anything, I should still be in the cockpit of my ship. There we go. So I'm no longer floating away into Oblivion. I'm actually still in the ship, and everyone's having good times. Ridiculous bugs. Hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time. So we had a fun little bug here where if you join into a map and you stay absolutely perfect still, the player decides to ascend into Oblivion. And well, that was just our back-end attachment code deciding to be a little bit more optimal than it needed, and our physics code deciding, hey, let's give the player a slight velocity when we change the zones. With those two combinations and, you know, having fun and doing their thing, it was a perfect storm to send the player off into wherever he wanted to go. It was a quick fix to make sure that if he's in the seat and he has done that zone transition, to just nuke out any velocity so he stays in the ship until he's ready to move with the ship sometime later. Hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time.
Thank you for watching. So if you want to keep up with the latest and greatest in Star Citizen and Squadron 42's development, please follow us on our social media channels. See you soon.